I'm going to be taking a long position on the S&P 500, entering back into my trade. So let me go ahead and do that. What I'm going to do is we're going to need a couple minutes here just to let me take this trade before we bring Frank in, if you guys don't mind. So let me just do this. Market. I'm going to be taking 200 shares here long in the SPY. This is the S&P 500. And the stop price here, I'm going to be going to put my stop below the low here of January 6th, which is going to come out to about 378, let's call it. So we're going to put 378 here. So this is a trade I've had my eye on. I'm going to go ahead and pick this one up. So just give me 1 second to make sure everything is good here. I'm going to go ahead and, I need to unlock my trading really quick. So we are going to go ahead and buy SPY. So I am long the S&P 500 here this morning. S&P 500 long. I just picked it up. I got to pick it up in my tracker account. Give me 1 moment as I do that. And then I'm going to be sharing the trade alert within the VIP group. For those of you who are in there with me, just give me 1 moment to do so. I'm going to be setting this up. So again, stop loss is going to be below January 6th low. So going to be risking a bit of a risk there. But of course, nothing massive on the account size. Let me go ahead and get this information filled in. So again, I just picked it up long. And the long thought process here is it's coming back into a level of consolidation that I really like. Holding this area, I'm looking for this thing to explode off this level. And if it doesn't, stop loss is below the lows if this thing gets taken out. So it's a bit of a longer term trade because, again, it would take some serious sell-off to get us back down there. But that's kind of where we're at with the trade. So let me go ahead and fill in the information here. All right, guys, so we're taking a look at the S&P 500 and you can see our level ended up holding beautifully. So price came down into this level of support where we took our trade and so far looking very solid. Let's get an update on the S&P 500 profit and loss. And you can see we are floating at this point about $826 of profit on the trade. Now when I took this trade, it was meant to be a bit of a wider stop loss and looking for a bigger move. So I'm not going to try and quickly adjust stop loss on this one, but I just wanted to give an update of where we currently sit and where I think we could go. We'll go back to the S&P 500 here and you can see that on TradingView, I've got this level marked and this is a notable spot. This area is trying to break here on this Friday close. It's Friday when I'm recording this and price is shooting through the highs here and breaking through resistance. If price can stay above there and continue to move higher, I'll probably look to trail stops on Monday. So if we can stay above this, I'll be looking to take my stop loss out of loss territory and put it at the very least at break even, but we'll have to see how price decides to go. My thought process with where the S&P 500 could go is I think we have potential to retest the previous high. And if that happens, I'll be looking to try and trail stops, like I said, to lock in more on this trade. So we'll give some more time to see if this thing can hold. And so far, so good. We'll stay holding on to this trade until the market chooses to reverse. So let's see how it goes. All right, guys, so it's been a few days since my last update and the S&P 500 is really cooking now. We just broke through the previous highs, which of course, whenever this happens, what I like to do is I like to trail my stop loss. Now, if you remember my initial trade, we entered back here. Markets have been rallying and rallying. We came all the way back up to the previous high. Now, with the break above this is going to be a cue for me to go ahead and trail stops. And so let's go ahead and get an update on the actual position. Let me pull it up so you can see it. Here is my current trade, and you can see we are due for a little bit of a trailing stop movement. So let's go ahead and do that now. So with price breaking through the previous high here, what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to go ahead and start by just trailing stop loss just behind market structure here. Now, if we go back to look at the chart, what we are identifying is, of course, this little range here. We can see that we came up to this area, we consolidated for a bit of time here. This is a 1 hour chart, so about a day of price action here, just basically sideways before the key break that we've seen today. So I've trailed my stop loss just below this market structure, basically saying if price breaks back the other way, then I'll be out of the trade for a profit. So no longer can I lose money. And you can see currently we are floating a profit of about $2,500 on the SPY or the S&P 500 trade that I am in. This signal was shared inside of the Discord channel. You can see here it is, my initial trade, and I'm about to share an update with the new updated trailed stop on my trade. So a bit of context here. Again, big break off the lows, consolidated, and now trailed my stop loss behind this market structure. If price fails to come back and stay above this level of resistance, then I will be looking to get out of the trade. Now, you might be asking, well, Nick, why don't you just trail your stop right here? Well, we've had such a strong one-way move, and I'm still bullish on this thing overall. So I don't want to just take profits just because it's run, but I also want to give it room to potentially chop around here and find its bearings. If it does find a way back all the way to this retracement and even breaks below it, I'll take my profit and move out. But if I'm able to hold on to a trade like this and let it continue to run, especially with a break of that 4,000 mark, I think we have more room to go to the upside. And now zooming out to the daily chart, you can actually see another reason why I'm holding on loosely to this trade is that we could see some consolidation before we potentially head to retest the previous high here up at 4,100, which would give us another leg higher to potentially trail stops and try and take this one for a bigger winner. So again, floating $2,500 on the trade so far. We'll come back once markets update a little bit more. All right, guys, it's time for an update on the S&P 500 trade, and you can see price has continued to shoot to the upside. Really strong price action here. This huge green candle taking out our previous high has gone ahead and triggered me into trailing my stop loss. If you saw the most recent point, we of course entered here. We have my trailing stop at this point, and now I've actually gone ahead and moved my trailing stop up just a bit tighter below today's low after we had a strong rejection from buyers. So at this point in the trade, I'm going to show you my position. At this point in the trading video, now you're seeing the trade management side of executing a trade, right? So I've been trading the same strategy for a number of years now. And when it comes to repetition, you know, most people want to talk about the entries, right? Finding that perfect entry. In this case, the entry worked out, but not all my entries are that good. And what's possibly more important, in my opinion, it is definitely more important, is trade management. So we entered into the trade and we caught a nice runner, right? We trended higher, beautiful, and we were able to trail stops into profit. At the last time you guys saw, we trailed stops here. Now, price has continued higher and pulled back and found buyers here today, putting in a new higher low. I've just gone ahead and moved my stop loss behind this low, basically saying if price comes down and puts in a new low, that's going to be it. I'm going to go ahead and take profits. Now you can see at the time of recording, I'm up $2,100. At one point here, I was up about $2,500. So, you know, at this point, I would like to see if things can get back above the highs. If things are able to get above the highs, we'll look to trail stops further. And this is where the trade management side comes in. And again, very, very important. Managing a trade is just as, if not more important than the actual entry itself. Because a lot of traders might have already taken profits. They might have closed out right here out of fear that it would reverse. But my goal here is to do the opposite. I'm going to squeeze on and hold tight to this trade as much as I can to see if I can catch a bigger runner, as that's where as a trader I tend to make the most money, is when I catch a really big, great trade and hold on to it tight by trailing stops and being patient with the market. So there's the update. We'll check back in once things move a little bit further on the S&P trade. I also kind of want to look at that S&P 500 trade idea. Look at this, bouncing off the 50%. Are we going to have to buy the S&P 500 as well? We made some great money on that run up, and I've been looking for a chance to re-enter here. So with this dip here this morning, it may actually be of interest here for me. So yeah, we are all out of S&P 500 trade. We ended up closing a nice profit, about $1,400, $1,300. I'll have to check the log later, but we ended up getting out of that trade for about a $1,300 profit, which of course is not the $2,500 that we were at up here. But of course, hey, you know what? Sometimes you're gonna have to give back some in order to trail stops. That's how it goes. So we are all out of there. I do also like the idea of potentially getting long S&P 500. That one's on the watch list. So it looks like you made it to the end of one of my videos. Thank you so much for supporting my content. It really means the world to me. And down below in the description, I've put together some of my best resources for aspiring traders who are looking to improve. I've got some free downloads that could help you, some broker recommendations, and if you'd like to join our Discord or get access to some of our trading software, all of that will be linked down below in the description. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.